got you another project.
Is it your truck?
Yes, sir. 1942 Ford pickup truck. My dream truck.
Man, there is nothing left of this frame. Like nothing.
You know, with a car this old, things ain't where they should be originally.
You know, Rat Rod, there's nothing specific how to do anything on it.
That boy's on the ground.
This is a real nice 75 square body with a real long bed. I got a little problem. This tire's rubbing. All we have to do is put a wishbone in place. It's gonna look a lot cleaner, and it's done right.
Oh, no!
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
The core of Extensive is come into Extensive, have some sort of suspension work. You know, that's any custom car, you're going to have suspension work. It's the foundation of any vehicle. That's what Extensive is built upon. You know, suspensions to me were, you know, using the trade that my dad passed down to me, just using those skills to create something cool, to modify a vehicle lower to the ground, but that little trick of maintaining ride quality and handling is not just anybody can do that. Whether it's lifted, lowered, off-roading, car shows, or really all of the above, we build every suspension specific to the customer's needs. I mean, every day you get up, you come to work here, it's something different thrown at you, and you learn to adapt, you learn to evolve, and every job that comes in, we progress and get better and better and better, and just keep pushing those boundaries. And this morning, I'm giving a vehicle back that's the perfect example for what we do. It's a 1928 Rat Rod that was in bad need of a modern suspension setup. What's happening, man?
Morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning.
How's it going?
Man, I'm good. Today's going to be a real good day for one of the two of us.
Hopefully me.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, a rat rod isn't something we normally work on, but it's really cool to get it in, to really focus on.
That's the reason why I brought it to you. I wanted something one-off. I wanted something really cool, and I wanted something that was over the top.
Man, you got it, man. You know, rat rods are kind of the Mad Max of vehicles. They're purposely made to look rough around the edges. But when put to the test, these things get after it. You know, that's what's real cool about working on your car. You know, rat rod, there's nothing specific how to do anything on it. So to let the creativity flow, build something real cool and unique, I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah, the car's already a one-of-a-kind build, and I definitely can't wait to see what you've done to it.
Yeah, one-off build for you. It's a one-off build for us also.
Perfect.
Let's check it out.
Let's do it.
Come on, Lulu. Check that out.
That's it right there.
Right. Drop it down, Lulu.
Man, that boy's on the ground.
That's right, man. It's sitting flat on the ground.
Man, hell yeah, I'm loving it, man. Man, when that thing hit the ground, I was excited. Man, I was pumped.
The car looked really cool. It was already unique, but we had to put it over the top. First thing we had to do was get in the shop, get it all tore apart, get those old leaf springs out of here, and just start fresh. You know, we could have just put some bags on the front, a couple of brackets, and sent it on its way, but as unique as this vehicle is, I wanted to come up with something that just grabs your attention. I came up with a cantilever system just to put it over the top.
You did everything that I was wanting, plus more. Man, that cantilever system is just... Man,
it's pretty cool, huh?
Man, just doing the geometry just to get that to function is the reason why I brought it here. Man, that cantilever front suspension, it was state-of-the-art. It also matched the old school look of the car. I really like that. It's different.
You know, in the rear, too, we just took off all those springs and everything and put a tooling suspension on it with a bag on that. So The ride quality's there, the handling's there. It's probably the only thing comfortable of driving this is going to be the suspension now.
Well, that was the whole reason why I brought it to extensive, is because I wanted the suspension to be one-off, and I wanted it to be a very comfortable ride, and I bought it to drive. I didn't buy it to sit in the garage. I bought it to drive.
Hell yeah. And of course, you know, we couldn't paint it, especially in, you know, Houston, the humidity that we have here, you know, let the atmosphere do its thing, and just the rust just took over, and it just blends everything in.
That's
Looks like it's been there for 100 years.
The craftsmanship and the work that you do.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
Man, Bill, thank you very much for the work, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'll see you around.
You got it.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, one more job well done for us, one more out the door, but it's time for me to get back to work because we got many, many, many more to go.
Project.
Ren, I usually don't talk about your record driving skills, but a couple parts fell off on the way here.
Not this time. It's ready for you. This is how we got it, just like this.
Whose is this?
Guy named Eddie. He's on the way. Good luck on this one, buddy. We're out.
They're gonna leave me with this one, huh?
Yes, sir. You got this, dude?
You know, a project like this is pretty much on that line. You know, do you spend a ton of money, ton of time to make this a really cool truck, or chop it up, sell it for scrap? Because Ford was busy making things for the war, not too many of these 42s were ever made. So, to this day, it's one of the...
Hey, Bill.
What's happening, man?
What's going on, man? Edward Wilcox.
Hey, nice to meet you. It's your truck?
Yes, sir. 1942 Ford pickup truck. My dream truck.
Oh, yeah, this is a dream come true for you?
A dream, man. I've been working on a lot of stuff, but this is the one I want.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. It's my baby right here.
So, why 42 Ford?
Well, you know, the 42 is one of the rarest trucks. To me, it has a lot of class and style with it. It's the first one that had the flat nose in the front. I think is very unique, but it needs a lot of love and attention.
It does. I ain't gonna argue with you on that one. Mm-hmm. So what do you see when this truck's all done? What do you see here?
I see something bad. I mean, I want a full custom job on this.
You want us to take this truck and just totally remake the whole truck over for you?
Yes, sir, but in parts. I'm going to have to do a little at a time. I've been looking for this truck over 20 years, and it's been a long road for me to find it, and I finally found it.
Hey, I'm totally cool with that. You know, a project like this can most definitely be overwhelming to a lot of people. So,
yeah.
How far do you want to take this?
Well, Bill, I would like to get everything underneath done first.
So just start out with the rolling chassis first, getting the foundation all set.
Yes.
You know, it has a straight axle on the front.
Yeah.
You know, getting rid of that, put a Mustang 2 style front end.
Sounds good.
You know, disc brakes on it. Mm-hmm. You know, a good rear end in it. 4-link on the back.
Yeah.
And are you wanting it adjustable at all, or just stationary?
I would like the static ride of it.
So no adjustability, you just want to...
Just something that I can just enjoy.
So just a static drop on it, so like coilovers on this would be ideal. Get that stance right, all you got to do is get in, start it up, and ride.
That's what I'm talking about.
No buttons, nothing to mess with, just ready to roll. You know, this truck has 80-year-old technology, so what we're going to do is just build a Mustang 2 style independent front suspension that's really popular in most hot rods. And a 4-link in the back with coilovers all the way around to give it a good ride and a really good stance.
And Bill, just to let you know, I have the engine and transmission, so I'll be bringing over to you a lot of parts.
That's even better. So what we can do is get the stance right, the ride right, get the engine, transmission in it. You know, get you a column in it so you can steer it. I mean, you can push it around and do whatever you want to do to be able to go on that next phase.
Sound like a winner.
Let's make it happen.
We're going to make it happen.
You know, this 42 Ford, it's in rough shape, you know, but it's a dream truck to someone. You know, with any dream, you got to start with the foundation. Like, you can't buy an old house and just put doors and windows in it when the floor is falling through. You got to start with the foundation. In this case, starting with a solid frame, brand new suspension. That is ground floor. That's where you start with. And then once you have all that established, you can build upon that. Then you can, get the body panels right, get the paint right, interior. That's second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth stage. I'm glad this truck's been brought in here. We're going to get him hooked up, get him on the right track. If it's us that's going to finish the truck, or if he's going to take it and build it in stages all himself, this is where it's got to be started with. We put the 42 Ford on the lift. Right away you can see this truck has a big problem.
Appreciate you getting on up there, Timmy.
Hope you don't expect much.
It's just about to come tell you what we're going to do to this, and it just got added, right?
Put it right back in the ocean. That's where it looks like it came from.
Man, there is nothing left of this frame. Like, nothing. This is his dream truck. He's been wanting an early 40s Ford for quite some time. Finally got it, but, man, it's in rough shape, right?
Hopefully he got it cheap.
We're going to be building this in stages. So the first stage of this is we're going to build the front suspension, get rid of the illustrated axle. We put a Mustang 2 style front end with coilovers, front and rear, 4-link for the back. Give it a really low stance, something that looks really good. We'll put brand new brakes on it, wheels, tires, and he has his engine trans that we're going to mount in here also. That with a column so he can steer it, he's good to go. That's his stopping point right now.
So you want to mess with this frame? You're going to call him and see if he can get another frame? Or we're going to build one?
We have to change the frame. There's nothing we can even do with this. It'd take more time and labor to try to repair this than it's worth.
So that's basically where you're at right now. You want to make a rolling chassis for stage 1, and then whenever he gets ready to do phase 2 and phase 3, if we do it or somebody else does it, all the suspension and the drivetrain's done.
Yeah, that'd be 100%. Okay. So one other thing, it's not leaving here with this. So out of here looking like that. I'm gonna break that to him as soon as I get on the phone with him right now. Let's go ahead and get it all tore apart. Front end off, cab off, roll the whole thing out, and we'll get it going. All right, man. All right.
Grab that corner. No matter what the build is, it's always better to fix the chassis and suspension first. It saves a ton of time and heartbreak later. A lot of times people ask you how you like to get projects. When you do get them like this and the guy does want to do it in sections, it's kind of relief because a job like this would normally take at least a year, if not longer. So it's kind of nice to have something that comes in, leaves, and then we get a fresh start if he brings it back.
It was the easiest teardown ever.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you get the front end off and the cab off, you can really see how bad this frame is. It's all split here. It's all rusted through. This whole core support is just old and nasty. If you put any kind of power to it, you're going to wrinkle it up. Luckily, he found another frame for us to start with. So essentially, we're starting back from scratch with a new chassis, but a way better chassis. Sometimes we build our own chassis on a project like this, but to save a bunch of time, the owner sourced a used frame that's going to work perfect for what we're looking for.
This guy brought in another chassis?
We told him how bad the other chassis was, so he found this one. This one looks like it had a small block in it too. So take some of this out, but at least the front of the frame is all still there and it's not rusted all the way back like the other one was.
Yeah.
Just get right there and bolt it up. Take some of this other stuff off and then we'll go from there. Because we're adding the LS with a lot more power, we're going to box it in to help support the frame, reinforce it, and then also give us a good platform. We're going to add our Mustang 2 front suspension to have a crossmember that comes down and comes back up. So that'll give it something really good, really solid to tie into, which will make it a lot stronger, and it will also take some of the torque for the motor to keep this thing from twisting up in the front. I mean, you can see over the years how much it's not really consistent. I'm trying to straighten it up, but you can see right here how much the frame will twist just back and forth. So that's why we're wanting to put a plate all the way down this side to here, and the same on this side. You have something that's a C, it wants to collapse the ends. You make it full boxed in, it's super strong. Basically what I want to do is want to line up this corner with this corner, so it gives us this whole valley that the weld will fill in all the way down. It won't be standing up on top of the frame. It fills it in, and it's a nice looking weld. Now the bottom one I'll raise up 3/16, cut it, and it'll be good to go. Now you can see right here, it's corner to corner, corner to corner. Now we can put a weld all the way down there, and put a weld all the way down the top.
Good to see a cool truck come to the shop, especially with the old friend driving up in it. Corey, what's up, man?
What's going on, Bill?
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Man, all right. This the latest and the greatest?
This is the newest one.
This is a real nice 75 square body with a real long bed. Corey owns a local body shop, and I've known him for a long, long time. So what's up, man? What you got doing?
Let me show you what I got. I got a little problem. This tire's rubbing on this bedside right here.
Well, yeah, it's touching right now.
It is. So the rear end's not totally centered up.
Right.
The wheels, the offset of the wheels, they come off of another truck. I mean, they work on the truck, but it's a real tight gap.
I see.
On this.
Man, definitely riding this low. You can't be doing that. You don't want to be riding around real high in the back, right?
No, I like to ride it low, and as it sits right now, I can't ride low.
What's the other side look like?
But the other side, so over here, I've got a gap that I don't have over there.
Yeah, you got a little bit more room on this side.
Yes.
It's definitely not 100% center, but even if it is 100% center, you still have the panhard bar, right? You have that fixed area on the frame, and then coming over to the axle, it's going to follow that plane no matter what. So you're going to have a little side-to-side movement. And because that wheel is so large,
yeah,
the tire's got a little bulge to it, and just the way the square body's made, it is so close to the bed sides, the fender well trim, to the tire. Right, there's no room for movement. A lot of vehicles we deal with, there's only a couple things you can do to fix a problem. Narrow the rear end, get a different wheel and tire, or fix the centering issue. If everything else is good underneath here, I think all we have to do is get rid of the panhard bar and put a wishbone in place.
Yeah.
That way the suspension can still go up and down, but it won't have any side-to-side movement, so you'll be good with that. You know, wishbone is basically a telescoping bracket that mounts to the frame and mounts to the axle and keeps everything 100% centered.
So, Bill, if you take the wishbone to work, can I just leave it here and get it taken care of?
Man, you know we got you on that, Corey. We'll definitely make it work with what you got and save that paint and save them tires for you.
I'd appreciate that.
It's an easy deal, man. No sweat. Let's go in the office. Let's make it happen.
All right.
Having a custom car comes with responsibility. It's not buying a car off the lot and you put the keys in it and you just drive it wherever you want. When it comes to a custom vehicle, especially a lowered custom vehicle, you got to learn how to drive it. It's not like driving a stock vehicle. It's how far to turn with big wheels. You can't just turn lock to lock on some instances. You got to swerve around potholes because you have a low profile and how to ride with and to ride low and comfortable and not have any issues. You know, that's just part of the game when you're customizing a build that's already been custom built. You know, the issues that's on Corey's truck with the wheel clearances, you know, it's very, very common. You know, different wheels, different tire, you know, different diameter, different width. I mean, there's all kind of problems that arise anytime you change up anything. In the custom game, the bigger wheels and the lower you get, the better. But it's a fine line between looking good and drivability. anytime you change to larger wheels and tires, on a lower truck like this C10, you're asking for trouble.
Y'all ready?
Jamie and Lulu are taking off the bed so we can get a good look at what we're working with.
Come on. All right, let it down, guys. All right, thank you. All right, so we got the bed off now. We can see what we're working with. We'll go ahead and start disassembling this thing and start putting our wishbone.
You got it.
We got this.
I'm gonna watch you do it.
No, we got this.
Man, there's not a whole lot of room up here. I mean, the bed sits right here, right? Mm-hmm. You got the exhaust there, you got the cross mover there. Instead of messing with any of that, this looks kind of, I mean, it's all right, it's functioning, but I don't really like the looks of it. And I knew we were going to do the wishbone on it. I know he had clearance issues, but, you know, Corey's a friend of mine. I can't be having him ride around looking like this. Now we have the bed off the C10, I'm seeing a couple more issues. You know, I don't like the plastic line and some of the placement of the valves and compressors. You know, I definitely prefer hard line because it will last way longer and it looks way better. I think moving this tank, moving the air tank back where the factory gas tank was, it'd be totally out of the way on the outside of the frame. Move the compressors and everything out there, so we'll have plenty of room to build a really sturdy, cool looking wishbone. And taking out all this flat bar and everything, and then boxing it back in with a piece of 2x4, and that'll give some rigidity back in this old riveted frame. And we'll make it look just as good on the bottom of it than it does on the top. Alright, cool. Good.
So we're gonna go ahead and dump the air out of the tank right now. Okay, so you can see they overcut the frame right here, and you know, we want it to look like it was made like this, so we're gonna make a straight line even with the notch right here so it looks nice and clean from underneath. It's gonna function better. We're gonna get rid of the DOT line, we're gonna put hard line on it, we're gonna make sure all the air management's in a nice tidy position. Oh, it's gonna look great underneath. It's gonna look a lot better than it did before. Bubble gum welds. You can see this weld's a good weld. This is actually one of our notches right here. You can see it's nice, consistent penetration right here. And then you look over this other tab right here. It doesn't flow. I can see spaces underneath it. Not only does this weld not look pretty, it's not consistent, probably not strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this piece. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this flat bar out now. This is my last piece. I got everything cleaned up inside the frame. We're gonna cut this out, be good to go.
As for the 42 Ford, the real key is finding that perfect spot for the new cross member.
Dealing with a car this old, things ain't where they should be originally. We fitted the front end with the cab, got it where it needs to be. Now we gotta get our wheels where they need to be. We can't line it up where it should be, and we can't line it up by eyeballing because everything's just not right. So we're gonna do the best we can with some plumb bobs, center it in our wheel opening, one on each side, and then run as a straight edge across, and that's how we're gonna mark the centers of our frame. That way we know exactly where to put our cross member at. When I'm setting all this up, lining it up, measuring, not only does that cross member need to be dead center on that frame, but we also want that wheel to end up centered in the wheel opening. You don't want it too far back, too far forward, because it's not gonna look right. So when we get that lined up on the frame, all square, perpendicular with frame rails and everything, we gotta come back and make sure our wheel is gonna be centered as well before we can go and start welding all that in place. There you go, buddy.
All right, now we have everything centered up, everything's leveled, the frame's level, this is level, it's centered where we want it. Now we're gonna make a couple pieces to connect this other piece back here. We'll box it all the way in so it'll be 100% strong. need to make some sides for it. So we took a template, kind of measure where it needs to be, and we'll take this over there and make this out of metal. All right, Lulu did a good job getting everything welded in. Now you can see this is all boxed in. So this connects this frame to the cross member. Now we can drop the big engine in here. It'll handle the horsepower and the torque since everything's fully boxed.
We've already narrowed the rear end on the 42 Ford. And because the owner wants to ride low, we got to make room for those 22-inch wheels.
Perfect.
That is like a Hot Wheels now, huh?
Now John's going to notch the frame so there's plenty of clearance.
Now we got this all cut out. We know how far up our tire is going to go bottomed out. We're going to put this template inside and outside of frames on both sides, weld it up, and then cut this section out and box it all in. And we got us a notch. So basically, when this truck is bottomed out, like hitting a hard bump, the axle was going to be way up here. Of course, bigger than that circle. It's just reference. But at ride height, is literally going to be about right here. So you need that little bit of space and drivability so your axle doesn't bottom out on your frame. Now we got all our notch plates in line with these two parallel bars, and they're all welded out to the frame. Now we can cut this center section out on both sides, and we'll have us a notch. After that, we'll fill them in. Now we weld. So I got the last cap piece tacked in place. Now this is ready to get welded out. Once I'm done, the frame will be done.
I'm gonna figure out how to make a wishbone.
Lulu's getting the wishbone going on the C10, which will look like the turkey wishbone from Thanksgiving when it's done.
First step is get a piece of angle, then we got a straight edge, clamp this to the table, and from there, get some measurements off the rear end, and come back and draw it on the table. Outside to outside is 24.
On a 2-link rear suspension, there's nothing holding the axle going from side to side once you remove the panhard bar. So we need something to keep everything in place, and the wishbone does that by 3 fixed points that are going to hold everything straight going up and down, and has a telescoping point that lets the 2-link go up and down without being in a bind.
Now I can notch my shirt. Right, here's the moment of truth. It lands where it needs to land. That's what we want right there. So now that I have these outside pieces tacked in here, now you can see why it's called a wishbone.
Okay, so while Elu's making our wishbone, I'm gonna go ahead and relocate our compressors back here. I've already started on one and got my marks for the next one. Go ahead and put my compressor here, tack it up. Then I'll know right where I can put my manifold, weld that on. We'll run our air lines to it. Everything's our tank, which is going up front, what we talked about. It's just gonna look a lot cleaner, and it's done right. I'll weld these out real quick. I'll mount my compressors. Then I'll be able to see right exactly where my manifold's gonna go. Okay, well that's not gonna work there. The issue I'm having right now is just a clearance issue, so I'm gonna go ahead and just shorten this bracket right here for our manifold. I'm leaving about an 1/8 inch off the manifold, so I'll still have room for my air lines to go in behind the compressors. Let me take this off, go ahead and shear it. enough room to get our airline out. It's nice, clean, it's tight, looks good, it's compact. Now tack it, weld it.
The C10's getting really close to getting done. We finished welding, painting, and installing the wishbone.
Now that we got the wishbone on there, everything's perfect. It's going to stay exactly centered between both frame rails, so we're not going to have any issues with the tire rubbing.
Lulu and Jamie are finishing by running hard lines in between the air compressor, tank, and airbag.
Come on with it, move, please, move.
Man, it might have taken only a couple days to knock out,
Go forward. I think that's it, guys.
but the changes we made are going to make a world of difference. Corey, what's happening?
What's going on, Bill?
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Man, doing good, man, doing good. Man, I know you came in, you were just having some issues, the clearance issues of taking a wheel and tire off another truck and fitting it on another truck that wasn't really designed for it. We got you all hooked up, everything. Let's check it out.
All right, man. Oh, man. Much better. Look like you're ready to drive.
Yeah, man.
Wheels look good.
Right?
Man, the truck's only been gone a week, but seeing it coming out that gate, I'm so happy to have it back.
Beautiful C10, man. Good looking truck.
Man, thanks, Jamie.
Corey, you came in, you had air suspension, of course, you got to have that riding low, but it had a panhard bar on it, because that's just how our kits are designed, right? But in this case, with those wheels and tires, with this bedside, the way a square body's designed, man, everything has to be on the money for everything to play right. Well, now, everything has been redone. We cut off all the old panhard bar and just started over. We built a wishbone, so there's no side-to-side movement now. So when you raise and lower, the rear end stays perfectly centered in between the bedsides.
Exactly what I needed on this one.
While we're underneath there, truck need a little extra love, so...
Yes. Yeah, we moved a lot of stuff around, man. Went ahead and moved the air tank, moved the compressors, moved the manifold, did hard lines to everything, cleaned everything up. It looks amazing under there. It matches the truck now.
Awesome.
It looks real good underneath there now, man, and it works real well.
I'm glad y'all took it in.
You don't want plastic lines on a custom build like this. I mean, you have vibration issues, chafing, rubbing, heat. You don't want any of those problems. I mean, that'll leave you on the side of the road. So a nice hard line is definitely the way to go. Corey, it looks good underneath there. We got everything in its place, but, it's the moment of truth of dropping it down on the ground and making sure, the clearance is at 100% and no issues.
Let's check it out.
So, Jamie, drop that sucker down. Let's show him how centered it is.
Oh, man, all right. Looks like the wheels fit now, Bill.
Yeah, both sides.
Both sides, yeah. They clear.
Right.
That looks a lot better. I can already tell. Gap here, wheels clear there.
Yeah, it's on the money.
Same gap over here. It's perfect.
Man, it goes straight up and down.
Exactly what it needs. That way I can roll low.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you, Bill, and thank you, Jamie, for everything that you did.
Man, you're very welcome.
Have fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
Lulu and Jamie always got my back. They did a great job. And Corey, enjoy driving your truck around as low as you like.
Take it easy.
The roller chassis is coming together on the 42 finish, mounting the LS and add a new steering column.
I'm glad Tim boxed in that open channel frame, because this is a whole lot of motor, and I don't think that original frame would have held up. So with that said, with it being boxed in, shipped it over that way, should have no problems holding this power plant. Right there. So now we got suspension done, the rack in place. We're gonna install the steering column inside the truck, get it all mounted up, and then we're gonna connect our steering shaft from the end of the column to the end of the rack. First thing we're gonna do is take that bottom plate off the floor that the original steering column went through and make a new one that's flat. That way we can install this lower column mount, which we just call it an eyeball, because when you put it in the floor, you can move it around, pivot it however you want. That'll get bolted back up to the floor, and the steering column will slide through here, and that's our lower mount. Now all we gotta do is make us a new panel, the same shape as what came out, on a new piece of flat metal. What I'm doing now is just figuring out the center of my lower mount. We need to cut out a hole about a good 3 inches. slide our column through, and the column will get mounted to the bottom of the dash. Does it fit? Of course it does. Just about the right spot we need it. Now the only thing we got left to do is connect from the steering column to the rack and pinion. What we're going to use is this piece of 3/4 DOM that slips into this U-joint. And from here, we're going to come down to another U-joint with a heim that'll come right off the frame. And then from there to the rack. Take a measurement. Now check it in place and test it out. Alright, this is the moment of truth. We got the steering wheel. I'll get this mounted on the column. Give it a few cycles, left to right. See how it feels. Alright, everything looks good. Tire's nice and smooth. See what it does with the wheels on. But for now, all we gotta do is weld this out. Steering is done.
We're getting really close to being done with stage 1 on the 42. Jamie's going to put on those huge 22s.
Looks nice. I like those.
One thing that's been bothering me since I've seen this truck is that grill. So we're going to replace it with an original vintage grill.
That looks much, much better.
You know, in the world of custom, there's extremes. There's extreme low, and there's extreme high, and, you know, everything in between. When it comes to being the lowest of the low, there's, you know, a certain thought process of what all has to be done to create something really, really low to the ground. And you're thinking about fender wells, you know, how big a wheel is going to fit underneath there. In some cases, a new frame being built. I mean, there's a lot goes into, you know, when something's sitting on the ground like that. You know, as far as lifted trucks, you know, it's not just throwing springs on or anything like that. You know, that's a whole nother thought process of what suspension is going to work the best at what height. You know, the different shocks, the different wheels, different tires, different brakes, different everything. I mean, there's a lot to be thought about when you're building custom suspensions. Custom suspension is part of the custom build. You gotta have it.
Bill?
Man, what's happening?
Oh man, I'm just here, brother, waiting on you.
Yeah, well, yeah, everybody's waiting on me, right? Can't build them fast enough.
That's right.
Man, you came in, you know, you had your dream truck and a big dream.
Oh yes, I do.
You know, phase 1 is complete, man. I think you're really gonna like it to finally see all those parts come together.
I cannot wait, man.
You ready to check it out?
Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man. God, you did it, brother. That's what I'm talking about right there.
What you think, man?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And when I went around the corner to see my truck, I said, wow, I couldn't believe all the parts that I had he put together, and I couldn't believe it. I'm loving it.
There you go.
That's the way I dreamed it. When can I
cool,
start driving?
Right. We're still a little ways away from that one.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't driving yet. That's the next go around. But, you know, phase 1.
Yeah.
I mean, we took the parts that you had and just built what's becoming your dream truck. We got it on the lift and just noticed the frame was totally rusted out. So luckily you brought us a new frame, good foundation. We can start building front suspension, start building the rear suspension, coilovers on it, just to get that stance right. We took the wheels and tires that you supplied us and we put the wheel up in place and just built all the components to make the wheel and tire fit on there, to make everything work properly. And then kind of, you know, give a little throwback look with the original grill and the styling that's there too. I think it just makes the whole project look a little better with, you know, the classic styling still there.
And it looks a lot better that way than how I had it before. I'm happy, man. I can't be no happier than what I am right now.
Right? Well, let's check out the back. You can see the suspension and everything underneath of it.
Oh, man, this is what I'm talking about right here.
You know, usually you see we do air suspension or coilovers. In this case, you wanted that static, low all the time. so we went with coilovers on the back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we built a parallel 4-lane so you can put whatever power is under the hood, this suspension can handle it.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
You know, with a big notch in the frame, so you got plenty of wheel travel. So you still have that comfortable ride. With that wheel travel, still has plenty of room. So it's going to ride and handle very, very well and be real low.
Oh, yes, sir. That's what I want. And it looks lovely. You did an excellent job with your guy. And I like that. I really do. That's why I came to you.
Hell yeah. Let's check out inside here.
Okay. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all keep on just surprising me. Man, it's nice. That's exactly what I'm looking for right there.
You know, when a truck's in a stage like this, one of the most important things, you know, once you get it rolling, you got to be able to steer it. You're going to be working on it yourself and moving it around, so you have to have a column in.
Looks good. The column, how he did the work was excellent. I think that was a perfect job.
Let's check out under the hood.
Okay.
We'll just grab it. We'll just set it down right here.
That's my baby.
Man, you see it all coming together now, really, right?
Man, it looks nice.
You said you got about 800 horsepower, huh?
Yes, sir.
It looks right at home underneath here, right?
Yeah.
Built a new crossover, added the rack and pinion steering, built the control arms, up, round, lowers, we built the motor mounts, built the trans mount. Man, you set up.
It looks real nice, man. You did a lovely job on everything. Hey, this is the first phase. I can't wait till the second, third, fourth, whatever, how many stages it is.
That's totally up to you.
A little at a time, so, you know, I'm trying to do it. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, man. You know, it's always cool to help somebody out that's been waiting and waiting and waiting to get their truck built. You know, Edwards had this dream for quite some time, and it's cool to help somebody out like that to make their dreams actually come true. I think this is one of the ugliest Cadillacs I've ever seen.
No. Whoa.
Oh, Mother Nature definitely hadn't been good to this one. We're going to pull out the engine, suspension, everything. We might need to make it rear-wheel drive.
I bought me this new 2021 Chevy Kodiak 4500.
Man. First thing we got to do, remove all the old suspension.
We'll make a 4-link setup for it.
Man, I just want to have a good ride, man.
Oh my God! Look at this! This is crazy!
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Here at the Houston Garden Center today, the owner, Kim, gave me a call, said she's got a project for me to check out. You know, if this is the one she wants built, we got a lot of work to do.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Kim.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
There she is. 1974 Cadillac Eldorado convertible.
A 74 Cadillac, that's your dream car.
I wouldn't say it was my dream car, but for an antique car, it was where I wanted to start because it was the year I was born, and my parents drove Cadillacs, and so that's the car that I wanted when I thought about getting an antique car. When I was growing up, Cadillacs were the best car that you could have, and I can't help but to think about my old neighbor when we carpooled, and I would slide across the back of the seat as she would turn corners because I think there was like 5 of us in the back seat. These cars have always been in my life, and I've always really wanted one.
So what are you seeing in this?
I want to totally transform this car.
Total overhaul.
Total overhaul. I want it to be a head turner.
Kim, this is, you know, I'm very good at what I do, but don't get mad at me. I think this is one of the ugliest Cadillacs I've ever seen, so.
No, I've seen your show. Sorry.
You know, a 1974 Cadillac, it isn't cool. But with all the real estate we have to work with, we're going to make it cool. Nice new paint, and we got to have some big wheels and tires, some 24s on it.
Wow.
And, of course, you got a Cadillac. We want it to ride good, so we got to put air suspension on it and make it real low.
Okay, I got it.
What do you got under the hood?
Stock engine.
Let's check it out. It does open, right?
It's heavy, Bill. Whoa!
Man, it's a huge engine, but not a lot of go.
No.
So I think, you know, a late model LS, 500 plus horsepower under here, but, you know, this being a front wheel drive, we might need to make it rear wheel drive.
I know you can do that.
Let's check out the interior. Is that real wood?
Yeah, I think that might be plastic, though.
And I'm surprised the interior looks fairly good, but it's red and really old. So we're gonna just rip everything out, just start fresh. I want you to be able to get in, sit down, and just feel cool in here.
I want that kind of car.
Yes. Let's check out what's in the trunk. Way better than the hood. We definitely have a lot of room to not only have nice sound project towards the front, but
Gotcha, it's a Cadillac.
right. You know, we'll come up with something really nice, you know, to bring the interior color and everything all the way into the trunk, and it looks stylish. So no matter where you go, you can pop the trunk too and kind of show off a little bit. What are you thinking on color? You got a favorite color?
I'm leaning towards like a metallic root beer brown. It's one of my favorites. I love the gold flakes and the way that the sun hits it. I think it's a way to keep the car true to the era also.
My mom used to have an old root beer brown Monte Carlo. So
Yeah.
I think that'd fit really good with that car.
That's kind of the way I'm looking.
Yeah.
And then as far as the interior goes, there's only one thing.
What's that?
Somewhere in that interior, I'd like a little red and yellow umbrella
A red and yellow umbrella?
for our logo. Somewhere on the interior in there.
You got it. We'll make it happen.
Sounds good.
We're gonna get back to the shop and get after it. You know, walking up to this car, you see the rust. And a lot of people are deceived when they see, you know, little rust on the hood, a little rust here, think that's it. But looks are definitely deceiving on a project like this. Oh, Mother Nature definitely hadn't been good to this one. Blur's shut good, the glass is perfect, the rubber's all new. You get a project in like this, you're starting from the very, very bottom. You have to repair every bit of that before you even get started customizing. You know, a lot of the times, the vehicle we start with isn't worth hardly anything, but that's not what it's about. It's about that connection with your car. That's what drives the whole project. That's what drives the whole customizing industry, is the personalization that you want to put on your emotional attachment. To somebody like Kim, she's willing to go the extra step, not only bring it back to life, to make it extra cool. A lot of work, but we're definitely up for it. We're going to build Kim a really, really, really cool 1974 Cadillac.
I don't think that's on right.
Think it's
Say what they're talking about on the rap song? Sitting sideways?
I'm thinking it's probably the whole car. It's supposed to be sideways.
Not just the hood?
Not just the hood.
All right. Well, little backstory on this. This is Kim Hooper. She owns a Houston Garden Center here in town. This is a 1974 Cadillac. She says she's born 1974, so she wanted something. You know, what she picked.
Why Eldorado, though?
Right? I could probably think of a couple of cooler Cadillacs to pick, but this is what we got to work with.
This is the one she picked.
There is quite a few drawbacks to this car. It's not the most stylish of all the Cadillacs for sure. Another drawback, of course, is all the rust.
Oh, the body shop's gonna love you for this one.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's job security for them for sure, right?
Yeah.
Let's check out underneath the hood. Show you what we're working with.
Oh, man.
This front-wheel drive configuration. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Ain't cool.
Gotta go. Rip everything out, and we'll convert it to rear-wheel drive. New LS. That way she can push the gas pedal. You some big old gnarly burnouts.
From the back.
Yes.
Man, I really like this idea. This is gonna be cool. It'll be like one of the only ones that'll be converted to rear wheel drive.
Yeah, with our framework, our control arms, big brakes, and a nice looking wheel and tire. You know, we're gonna put some 24s on it.
Yeah.
As far as interior,
Oh, that's not too horrible.
but
Can't have that.
no. Rip out the seats, carpet, put a new roof on it, new dash. Only thing she asked, she wants to incorporate her company logo in it somewhere. Check the trunk out.
You already know what's in here, don't you?
Nobody trying to.
Kind of nervous about what's in the. Oh,
It ain't too bad. The lot color, the style, and everything way back into the trunk to, you know, just finish everything off. We don't want to leave it looking like this back here.
no.
You know, of course, to make a cool car like this, we can't just paint it and put interior in it. That's a restoration.
Right.
We don't do restorations.
No.
So, strip this whole car, get the metal work right, get the body work right, and then she requested to have a root beer brown with a lot of flake in it.
It's right up your alley.
It's gonna be cool.
Right on.
You know, I've been looking for a sugar mama for quite a while, but I don't want to end up in that trunk.
When I hit the back quarters on this car, rust falls everywhere, and that's definitely not a good thing. First things first, we're gonna pull out the engine, suspension, interior, let's just say everything.
To the other side.
And then we're gonna send it off to blast. We'll see how big a job this really is.
I just hope the seats work. This car has power seats, and in order to get them out, we have to be able to move it back and forth to get to all the bolts. So I'm gonna power this up, and hopefully we don't catch a car on fire. These seats being powered, right now they're all the way back and down against the floor, so I can't get to the suck. Basically, we just took a 5-minute job and turned it into a 4-hour job. Ouch! Get apart! Get out of there. The other side was not this hard. Bless it. Come on, come apart. I hate you. Get out of there. That was the electric motor. Now, all I gotta do is take a screwdriver and manually turn the gears, roll this thing forward, and we'll be able to get to the bolts. The front seats are out, so next we get the rear seat out, rear quarter panels out, we'll let them finish getting the car taken apart, and we'll get the roof off of it.
Alright, you got it? Come on. So now that John got rid of the whole interior, we got rid of the exterior, now it's time to separate the body from the frame. What we're doing now is gonna send it to sandblast. Hopefully it comes in good condition.
The caddy's back from blast, and it's just as bad as I thought. The guys over in the body shop, they got a lot of work ahead of them.
So we just got our Cadillac back from Media Blast. So basically right now we're just making sure we get all our metal straight and take care of all the holes that we have on it and start our body work on it. We have some rust right here that we have to take care of. We got to cut this piece out. They're going to build a new piece of metal and weld it on there. Trying to hammer and dolly all the bottom of this piece right here so I can give it a curve. So now that I'm close to the shape that I want, now I can curve it a little. Making a flat piece into a curved piece takes a lot of time. You're trying to save as much body work as you can. You don't want to, put a piece on there and put a lot of filler on it. Take it to the table, hold my line a little more. Punch some holes on the bottom of it so I can spot weld into the car. That'll keep the bottom of it together. Grind it and get ready for body work.
Got a 74 Cadillac, which is front wheel drive, which is totally not what we want in this situation. We're gonna add a lot of power, make it really low, and put some cool wheels on it. You can't do any of those with this front wheel drive configuration.
We're going to reconfigure everything, make it a rear-wheel drive, so it's going to hold a nice new LT engine, transmission, drive shaft, rear end. Everything's going to go through the car now. In order to do all that, we're going to make a brand new subframe. You know, anytime you're building something literally in the air, every little measurement is so critical just to make sure everything's 100% true and straight and level. Once you establish all that, you can start going. You can start building, start creating. So that's the point we're at now. Everything's a level, everything's true. Now we're going to start building.
All right, so cross member basically is going to tie in our frame to our core support, and also it's going to hold up our suspension. Basically, I need to take this 2x5 and tie it into this 2x3. I'm going to cut with my cutoff wheel all the way down. So you can see when I cut these, I kind of got this arch to them. Just using this clamp right now to make sure they're perfectly even. The closer I get to the end, it's going to be really hard to push down. Go ahead and start welding them out now. Then we'll be putting them on the Cadillac.
So we're in a really good spot right now. We got our cross member all set in place and connected to the main frame rails. Only thing left is connecting front of the cross member to the core support.
It's pretty nice. Well, you can see I took the 5-inch and tapered it down to 3.
In our battle of the bays, every once in a while, a bay is set empty for a few days. You know, my job as a business owner, keep those bays busy. Even if that means putting in a quicker build with an urgent need, like this 2020 Kodiak that an old friend of mine just dropped off at the shop. What's happening, man?
What's up, Bill? What's going on, man? Y'all busy or what?
Where you been, man? I ain't seen you at the shows lately.
Man, you know how it is, man. They keep us busy here at work, man. But I got a little something coming up. I bought me this new 2021 Chevy Kodiak 4500.
Man, those are nice trucks, man. Real nice.
I want to see if you can do some little work for me on the back. The ride's a little rough, man.
I know it. These trucks come with a big old diesel Duramax V8 with 700 foot-pounds of torque. We've done a lot of 4500 trucks over the years, you know, and they're not exactly designed for a smooth ride.
What do you think, man? Can you hook me up? Put me a little 4-link, put something back there for me?
You're talking about just the back, right? So
yeah, just the back, man. Just the back.
Hangers, 4-link, you know, rear suspension with bags on it.
That's it, man. I just want to take it to a show it off, man, and have a good ride, man. So I know you can do it.
Absolutely, and still be able to haul a trailer and
yes,
what the truck's meant for.
Yes, sir.
You know, we got to build some running boards for that also.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll throw it in there too, man.
You know what? You might have called me at the perfect time. Out in the shop, we're moving a bunch of stuff around. We're finishing a few things. This one time, I'm gonna skip you online and we're gonna put you down and get you done, man. You know, something like that we can get in and out fairly quick.
I know you're gonna do some bad work, bro.
We got you, man. We got you.
All right, bud. Thanks.
All right, man. I'll talk to you real soon.
What's up, Timmy? What we got here?
Man, Lulu, you know as well as I know, these things with these big spring packs, they ride horrible unless you have a big load on them. I tried to drive for a couple weeks, ended up beating to death. So pull the wheels off, take the hanger off, take the leaf springs out of it, put a small notch in it. We'll make a 4-link setup for it, upper bag mount.
You can tell now that we have taken off the wheels, you got these springs in the back that are heavy duty. We're gonna eliminate that and start all over and give them a better ride. All right, those are heavy as hell. You got it? Watch out, watch out. I'm gonna go ahead and tack my C-notch in, find the center of where the rear end's gonna go.
The reason we're taking this section out, when this truck airs all the way out, we want it to sit that much more lower. Beautiful! And all we gotta do now is box that in on the bottom. We're gonna bend some flat bar. This is gonna go right underneath the bottom of that frame. We'll get this fitted in, it's welded out. Time to move on to making the 4-link tabs. Get them placed here on the axle, and then we can make the bars that connect from those to the hanger right off the frame. So what we got here is our bracket that gets welded to the rear axle. Being as we do so many Kodiaks, we already have this design saved on the computer. Every time we get a truck in, all we gotta do is hit go, and we'll burn these brackets out. They're ready to get put on the axle. Now we got those tagged in place. All we gotta do now is we'll get this bolted up there and mark where we gotta cut. Get that there. And we'll have a supporting bar completed. Now we got a top bar on, bottom bar on, connected from the axle to the frame. And what this is gonna let the axle do is move up and down as you're driving down the road and let it come into this notch to give it a smooth ride.
The 4-link added a pan hard bar to the 2021 4500. Because this truck's a lot lower with the notch in the frame, the axle is going to travel a lot higher, so we need to raise up the factory hitch that came with the truck.
Definitely need to put a spacer or...
Yeah, it had to be a 3-inch. Since we C-notched the truck so it could sit lower, we had to raise the gooseneck hitch up to give us clearance between the differential and the bottom of the ball. So all we did was make a little spacer to raise it up evenly on both sides, and we'll be able to weld this out on the sides, make it nice and strong.
John told me to make a template to cover up this and make it look a lot nicer here. So now I gotta go trace it on some metal, get it cut out, and bring it back over for John to fully weld it. There you go, boy.
Chop, chop. Now that we got the end cut and capped off, it looks 100 times better than it did before. Not only does it look good, it's also stronger. So let's get on to the other side and get this thing done.
All right, so we got the door panels for the 74 Caddy. Pretty much just rotted, terrible. Besides that, doesn't have our flare.
While we're turning the 74 Cadillac to a rear-wheel drive on one side of the shop, over in the interior, John's shaping fiberglass inserts for what will be custom door panels.
So close. My plan, we're gonna make a fiberglass mold of the insert that goes on the door. I'm gonna take some acrylic, heat it up, and bend it around the base. And once we got that done, we'll backlight it and have something really cool on this kind of stockish door panel.
All right, let's take a little bit of this.
So a little bit of body work. We'll have this thing smoothed out. Got everything shaped out, body worked out. Next step is just start laying out some lines on here, draw some stuff, and come up with a shape for the insert. So what I'll do is I'll just take this transfer tape, I'll draw out my pattern, lay it on a piece of chipboard, get it cut out, transfer it into some 1/4-inch MDF. We'll double stick this down to a piece of acrylic. All right, off we go. Get the router table, get it cut out, and get to bending. So this acrylic is nothing more than plastic. So when you put heat to it, it starts bending, gets all soft and floppy and pliable. Take some weight. With that weight there, it'll start to sag on its own. And as it starts to do that, then we'll go in with clamping it into place. All right, it's nice and cool. Let's go ahead and break it down and move on to the next step. I'm gonna create a pocket on this panel. It's fun coming up with little things like this that you can add in and just kind of update what's in the car. Still using the same lines and the same idea and the principles of the car itself. Perfect, which is one of the reasons they like the car. Give their own little pizzazz. Let's get to it. In order to wrap this panel, we've got to embed this LED in it. We're going to take this LED and...
Yeah, we're down.
The way when we laminate it with our wood veneer, we'll see this edge glow.
So you're putting down a wood veneer and it's going to look like the wood is emitting light.
Yes.
Okay, that's badass.
I like it. I can wrap that panel now.
Alrighty. We got the front half of the frame done on the 74 Eldorado. Now it's time for the back half of the frame. If we're going to make it rear-wheel drive, we might as well make it rear-wheel drive. So we're going to use a 20x12. When this thing's going down the road, it's just going to look like it's got some big old meats up underneath of it. In order to do that, we're going to cut out the back half of the frame and build a subframe that's a little narrower. That's going to give us room for those big, wide 12-inch wheels. All right, I'm going to go transfer this to the table, and we'll start making a frame. Next thing is cutting some metal, actually placing on the table, getting it tacked together.
Man, you done have to work for me already.
Yeah, made it easy for you.
Appreciate that. All right, so I got my 2x3 3/16 loaded up on the saw for the angles. So if I just go from 1 to 2 to 3, all these angles are going to match up perfectly. This was my last cut. This is going to be the end of my frame. Next thing is go ahead and lay it on the table. Let's go ahead and start welding everything out. So when I look at other cars, the first thing I'm looking at obviously is the welds. You know, I ride motorcycles. That's just a few welds on the stem that holds the front tire on. So, you know, welds naturally are a concern for me. Any kind of weak spot in something like this could tear or break. So it's a lot of responsibility you have when you're building cars like this for people. Not only, you know, to make everything look perfect and straight, and safety is my #1 concern. There we go. All the welds are nice and solid. Got a good start to the back half of the frame. So putting the new frame in, we're going to go ahead and cut the existing rest of the original frame off the back half. So much room for new frames.
I'm going to help you real quick, get it all stood up, square up, and we're putting two little temporary pieces, boom, boom. 2x3 back here on the back cap. 2x3 right here for the front of the fuel cell in the front of the frame.
Now we got our braces on, a little bit of weld on here so all of our tacks aren't breaking while we're moving around the car. I'll go get Bill, throw the sucker up there, and tie the rest of the frame in.
Well, the subframe looks good, fits good, nice and narrow now. We got plenty of room for the big wheels. Now we just need to connect it to the last little part of the factory frame, and it's almost rear-wheel drive. The chassis on the 74 Eldorado is done. It's time to make this rear-wheel drive. You know, this car was originally front-wheel drive, so there's no room for a transmission or drive shaft tunnel or anything connecting the front drivetrain to the back. So what we have to do is build a transmission tunnel. First step is cutting the floor out, the firewall out, all for the transmission and the drive shaft. Putting the transmission engine down in place, going from there.
How much farther back can I go? About 2.
We got the firewall cut out. Not something you expect every day to see a 74 Caddy rear-wheel drive.
Now we got a bigger transmission in here. Had to make a bigger trans tunnel. The trick to this now is, you see all my negative spaces, I'm gonna have to add metal there, tied into the tunnel to anchor it down. Once I'm done with that, I'll trim everything out. It's gonna look slick. Okay, so I'm utilizing the metal I had in here before. There's nothing wrong with it, it's good. It's not like this rotten stuff. Just a little bend in the floor. You can see how it comes up right here. Just want to make it nice and even so your foot feels exactly the same on the floor. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this gap in right here. This right here is something you don't see or people don't think about. Normally you just think about the wheels, the paint, the interior, but nobody really pays attention to the small stuff like this. It might take me, 30 minutes to make one cut to get all this tied in like you see right now. But it's really crucial. It's kind of like the thankless part of putting a car together. All these little pieces like this, you don't see on the end.
It only took us a few days to knock out the air suspension on the 2021 4500, but it'll be a night and day difference. When Sammy's out driving, the ride's going to be way more comfortable than stock. Not to mention the stance is going to be that much better as well.
Now we got all the suspension busted all apart. Get Lulu to get it painted. We can get this thing put back together. Take it for a ride down the road.
There's always a juggle in any business, especially a custom car shop. When you have the big, long, drawn-out builds and you have the quick day-to-day jobs, it's always a juggle to make all that work. So when Sammy called, he needed a quick job done. It just worked out perfectly where we could get it in, get it knocked out, and get him on the road. Sammy, what's up, man?
What's up, Bill? How you been, bro?
All right, man.
Good.
All right. I know you're waiting on your truck to get out of town, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, you've been a friend of mine for a while, and we had to get you hooked up, man.
Appreciate it, man. I know it's a last-minute thing.
Yeah.
But we got a show, and I know you're the right guy for it. I've been knowing Bill for at least over 10 years now. We've been in the same trucks he built and his guys.
It's ready for you. It's ready. It's going to ride good, handle good, and pull whatever you want to also.
That's what it's for, right?
That's it, man. Let's check it out.
Oh, man. That's killer right there, man. I like that. Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
it, man.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Gets down, too.
That's it right there. That did it.
Yeah.
That did it.
What's up, Sammy?
What's up, Tim?
How you doing?
All right.
Sammy. What you think, Sammy?
Oh, man, I love it, man.
The first thing we had to do, get it in, remove all the old suspension, those big, heavy springs that were in it. We had to notch the frame. That's to get it down a little lower. We built big hangers in the front and a huge heavy-duty four-link with some big bags on it, too.
I like that.
Whatever you want to put on this truck, those big bags will handle it for sure.
Whatever, whenever, huh?
That's it, man. The gooseneck hitch that you already had, we just relocated it a little higher so the truck could go down a little lower. We mounted the valves up underneath the cab, mounted 2 compressors, tank, and everything is accessible for you later if you ever need to work on it for sure.
Good deal, man.
Of course, running boards. I know eventually you're gonna, finish it off yourself with the bed, and so we went ahead and built the running boards for you. So it's really gonna help you out a lot, man, to be able to raise and lower when you're hooking up to your trailer and to have a nice, smooth ride. So we do what we gotta do. Man, you ready to roll?
I'm ready. Hey, big thank you for the guys here at Extensive. I know it was a last-minute thing, but I'm glad that they pulled it off. They did a great job, and I'm ready to go show it at the shows.
Hey, one more thing. What you got? Gotta put that sticker on the back now.
Yeah.
Then you're ready to roll to the show. All right, man.
All right, we're ready.
Now you're ready to roll.
Now we're ready.
And the body work are all done on the 74 Eldorado. So we're going to send the frame to powder coat. And now I can pick the paint color. So I just got a sample piece from the powder coater for a 74 Cadillac. So it's got some texture in it. A brown color and black all mixed together. It hides a lot of imperfections that are in the factory frame, and it just ties everything together. So I have a sample of the powder, and then I'm going to pick a color that matches the powder coat. A root beer brown with a heavy flake. So kind of just going through the browns that we have. And I think on this, it's an easy choice. With this brown has not only heavy flake, but a pearl also. I think that's a color, man. Sunset bronze metallic. Man, when the sun hit it, it's gonna go crazy. So it's definitely gonna be the shine she's looking for. As I've said, I've never been a fan of the 74 Cadillac Eldorado, but with everything we're doing to this, it's starting to look like a very different vehicle. The paint alone is really going to make a statement.
So this paint is pretty expensive because all the pearl and crystals they have in it. This gallon, just the base, is going to be about close to $2,000. So we don't want to mess this up because it ain't going to be cheap. I think just this bottle right here is about like $200. So gold pearl we gotta put on there. So this is flattening agent. You don't want your base coat, shiny, and your clear is gonna make it shine. Alright, so this is it. We got all our colors in there. Now we're gonna take the paint paint shaker, shake it for about 5 minutes, and we have our color good in that big old Cadillac. I think everybody likes the metallic on those big cars, especially with Cadillac. Having a Cadillac is like a symbol of luxury, I guess. You know, you'll get some tension in that big car.
Kim wants to incorporate her company logos into the interior, but she left it to us to figure out how and where to put it.
In order to take their company logo that's just 2D flat artwork and make it into something that's 3D, we have to start laying out some lines that make a grid pattern, and we'll do this over and over until we have something that looks like we want. We're just kind of blocking it in right now to build it in 3D. It'll look really cool when it's done.
Hey, sister.
Hey, what's up?
Stumbled across these delightful, wonderful pieces of 1974 modern art.
I saw these on the doors.
Yes. I want to unsee them on the doors.
This was a factory piece?
Yes.
All right, I'll draw something up. I was looking at their logo on the internet, and I was seeing this house over the umbrella, and then they have the red and yellow canopy that's very distinct. So we can take some of these other features and add them to the umbrella so that we can kind of fill up the square space. I'm all set. I got the job right here. I'm going to walk this over to our 3D printer. The machine's going to come up to temperature and do its little ones and zeros. Then each of those layers are going to be drawn here and go up and drawn more and up and drawn more until the design is done. All right, it looks like our 3D printing is done. These are our door medallions. I like that a lot. Our spiffy new squares. I think this is going to look really cool.
While John and Jen are cranking on the interior, the frame is back from powder. Now we can get to building that rolling chassis. Looks good, huh?
It's really going to accent that car real nice.
Man, I love the hammer tone, the copper vein. You know, it's got the brown and the black imperfections in the factory frame. It just ties everything together. It's going to look good. Get the engine on this thing, all the suspensions, get a rolling chassis, man. Then we'll set the body right on it, man.
That's good. I'm good. So Cadillac. Man, you always remember that one car when you're little, when you wanted or when you wanted to drive or when you rode around it.
Yeah.
Everybody has one of them cars, right?
Man, it's definitely a project me and my dad had. It was a 38 Ford with a 6-inch chop on it. It had a 427 in it. I mean, it was your typical straight rod. And everywhere we took the truck, I mean, it was just a good time. It didn't even make it back to the house before we had already chopped the top.
The one that stuck with me was the old family wagon 83 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Me and my brothers all rode in that thing. And
how many fights in the back seat y'all have?
Oh, a ton of them. Ton of fights.
Man, growing up on the farm, when I got to go to town, I'd always see a buddy of mine back then. He had the hydraulics on a little Mazda. So I was 13, 14, see his truck going down the road.
Blew your mind, right?
It made me realize you can do anything you want if you put enough work into it. You know, you look back now and you realize how much that becomes part of the family. That car's still in your family. You still have that car. When your kids are in the backseat arguing, that's what your parents went through. I still have the first truck that I built.
You know, since it got here, it's hard to think of a spot that we haven't touched on this 74 Eldorado. From making it rear-wheel drive, to the custom chassis and suspension, you know, all that bodywork and paint, and now we're finishing up that handmade interior.
We're working on the subwoofer enclosure for Kim's 74 Cadillac. What this is a brace for inside of the enclosure so that when the subwoofer is playing and the box is trying to flex, this is actually going to hold it together so that you don't end up with a reverberating sound out of the box. Since you'll be able to see it through the window, I'm dressed up a little bit. We'll just put a chamfer on it, give it a little bevel, straighten it up. In the custom world, it's all the little things that you do that make all the difference. together perfect. So, Jen's working on some side panels. I'm gonna start working out the front panels, get all this tied together, work our way around, we'll get this trunk wrapped out.
You know, all in all, I wasn't a fan of the 74 Caddy, but, you know, a good team comes together and makes cool stuff. A whole car that you would just walk right past and not ever care in the world about to what it is. Man, you're talking about a transformation, and that is most definitely the definition of custom. It's been a long journey for the 74 Caddy. Now it's time to give it back to Kim.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, good.
Man, when I got your call last night, I didn't sleep a wink. I couldn't wait to get over here and see what you have done to my car.
When I came to your business and seeing that car for the first time, I definitely had reservations of taking on the job. I wasn't fond of the body style whatsoever, but since then, went through every nut and bolt, and we made that Cadillac come alive. The car is beautiful now. I'm impressed.
Sounds like I made you a fan of a 74 Eldorado now.
Yeah, now I am. Check this out.
Yes! Oh my God! Oh my God, it looks amazing! Look at it!
Drop it down, man!
Oh my God, look at this! This is crazy! I'm gonna have to do this all the time when I pull up somewhere. For a long time. I'm just speechless. I'm so excited to finally have it finished. It's beautiful, Bill.
It's a long way from what it was, right? Is that the right color brown you were looking for?
Perfect.
Getting that paint cocktail perfect, you know, with the right pearl, with the right metallic, is key to making a job like this look 100%. 24s dropped all the way on the ground just changes the whole attitude of a vehicle. You pull this car up, you set it on the ground, everybody knows you've arrived in a cool car. We couldn't put a good looking wheel underneath of it, have a lot of power in the hood, and still keep it front wheel drive. So we just built a whole new front part of the frame and made it rear wheel drive.
So we can do some burnouts now?
Absolutely. You got something really cool here, and it's one of a kind. I want you to check out what we did under the hood.
Oh my God, look at that.
Long gone is the old Cadillac engine. This is a late model LT. You wanted some power under the hood? That's it.
This is amazing.
When you pop the hood, people are going to be impressed with what you got.
I think they will. I'm impressed.
Let's check out the interior.
Oh my God, look at it.
And you wanted it loud.
Yep.
This is definitely loud now. Have you seen the door panels? All the speakers in it. New console, wireless charging, just like a new car. And you see the big transmission hump. Wasn't anything there before. It was just flat.
I love how you did the wood grain on the sides. It's modern, but it still has that 1974 Eldorado feel.
And it's all backlit also. It looks really cool at night. You wanted your company logo built in here somewhere, and we have it in the door panels itself.
Never would have thought you would have incorporated it there, but I'm very pleased. It looks amazing. I don't think you missed one detail, Bill.
Well, you want to check the trunk out?
Let's go check it out.
Pop it up, man.
Oh my God. This is as cool as the rest of it.
Right. She had to have room for the bodies in the back, so we left you a lot of room back here. And it also has storage underneath here also, so you can still haul stuff and not have to worry about it sliding around. You had to have it loud, so we've got you a 12-inch sub in here also, so you not only hear it, you feel it.
Absolutely beautiful. Bill and his guys definitely knocked it out of the ballpark on this one. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. I love this car.
So we did good.
You did great, is what you did.
I love hearing that. You made me a fan of the 74.
I'm glad I could bring you around. Thank you.
I can't thank my guys enough. Transforming something like what it was, what it is now, this is most definitely one more for the extensive record books. What you think, Timmy?
This thing's bad.
Little upgrade great, right? The 22 International has that look of wanting to be customized.
Brand new equipment. You're going to chop it all up?
That's what we do, man. See what needs to be improved and get after it. 1960 Jeep Willys. Now the work really starts getting going. Putting all that metal back in place, that's a huge job. But we're just really getting started.
Looks better already, huh?
We still don't have an engine for it.
I'm trying to find a late model Hellcat motor.
Oh, Lord, look at this thing, man.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Let's see what happens here. Man, it always makes for a good day. Just take a break from the shop, come out and check out the new slab. Relieve a little frustration. Doing donuts is going to be short-lived. This is soon to become the Extensive Metalworks' new headquarters with a lot more space. Extensive started in one small little 30 by 40 shop. For the past 25 years, we've just been building and building and building, and we're busting at the seams right now. There's nowhere else to build. Here we are, brand new property, about to build an even bigger facility, 8.5 acres, starting out with 30,000 square feet, and we'll see where it goes from there. We have plenty of space to keep going, keep progressing. I never would have dreamed this, so I can't say a dream come true, but this is the next phase in Extensive Metalworks evolution. We have a whole lot left to do before the new shop is finished and we can move in. But some things can't wait, like the record. It seems like we just bought it, so I'm gonna run over to RPM, see my buddy Ryan.
What's happening, man? What's up, Bill?
See what he's got on the lot, get that new record going. Man, the 5500 you built me is a badass truck, but I got a little problem with it.
What's that?
Our builds always get bigger and better. They've been getting heavier too. So I'm just feeling like I need a little bit bigger truck. I'm just overloading the one we got right now. I think it's time for, a trade up.
Cool, let's go find another project.
Let's go check it out. And you got all kind of stuff out here.
We just sold him a new truck a year ago. What about something like this here?
Man, it's a big old truck.
With Bill, whatever he has is going to get bigger, bigger, and bigger.
75 ton?
100 ton.
100, huh?
And go bigger.
Man, this is what I'm talking about right here. This size truck, I won't ever have a worry about anything again. But the International, man, I like that. Let's check that one out.
That's the one you need, come on.
Good looking truck, man. Love it. I love the pewter. I'm usually a black truck guy, but pewter looks good. Just looking at the International, the other trucks are just a little more industrial. The International just has that look of just wanting to be customized.
26,000-pound GVW so you can haul the weight that you need to haul.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to worry about.
No swinging and banging.
Man, I love the wheelbase of this. The air suspension on the back so we can get even lower, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's a must. I'm seeing a lot of potential here. Maybe split the bumper, maybe give it a little bit more length. Once you get the bed on, you get the toolboxes on, we can build a running board that comes from the front fender all the way back to the back, right into the boxes itself and really finish all that out.
Brand new equipment. You're going to chop it all up?
Yeah.
Just like you do with everything.
That's what we do, man. See what needs to be improved and get after it. So once you do what you do, I'll get it over to my shop and do what I do.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Let's do this one.
Bill's going to do his own custom stuff once we're done, so we need to hurry up and get in action and take care of our side. Park cab and chassis that we're using has a long extended frame. We're going to need to whack that off at the back so we can have our pivot point. So we're going to cut the frame off at the right length that we need.
Now we're ready for the bed, and next step is going to be set the bed on the frame. Okay, coming down.
We're using a steel bed, 12,000-pound deck, 102 wide, thing that Bill puts on it. Get that welded on, bolted down, get that mounted up, and we'll move to the next step, which will be toolboxes.
Okay, push. This is the toolbox that we're going to install. We call it monster toolbox because this is the biggest one. It's a 78 by 20. Alright. This is huge. Go in some more. Slowly. Right there. We use silicone to seal the holes. That way the water doesn't go into the toolbox.
Yeah, alright. Bill took care of me so good on my dad's truck. We're gonna give it that little extra pizzazz. Sneak it off to the paint booth. Add this color and blend it on down here on the side rail. Give it that little extra customization.
We just got the truck back from the paint. It's ready to go, so now we're gonna put the pylon, which they painted too. We're gonna do the light bar after that, and then keep on with the winch cable and throw some trucks.
You know, it's real cool to build a rolling business card. This wrecker is going to be one of Extensive's shop trucks. You know, something that we use on a daily basis that gets the job done, but it's got to look real cool while we're doing it. You don't want to be riding around a regular old wrecker, you know, that everybody else has. When somebody sees our truck go by, I want not only the wrecker community, but everybody to go, damn, that's a cool truck. Oh yeah, it just happened to be a wrecker too. What you think, Timmy?
This thing's bad. Really nice.
Little upgrade, right?
First thing I noticed, though, it's got 22.5, so we should be able to haul whatever we want.
No more problems.
Is the deck longer on this one, too?
Way bigger, man. I mean, everything about it's just huge. Oh, RPM did real good on it, man. But it needs a little bit more upgrading. I want to build something that not only a cool wrecker, but I want it to be a cool truck.
Well, I already know you got something planned for here.
I mean, definitely got to build some running boards, you know, from the bottom of the cab all the way down where the lower step's at. From the front wheel to the rear wheels. Fenders over the wheels, you know, get rid of the mud flaps and all that.
That's going to look super clean.
Yeah, real cool. And, you know, the front bumper, too, you know, it looks too puny on here. So cut it, split it, stretch it. So it's the same height as a running boards all the way around. Gives it that meaner look from the front. Color match it and add a bunch of lights. It's going to look cool. You know, one other thing is replacing this pylon. Man, it looks cool. They did a great job, but I think it'd be way cooler with one big toolbox back here and with the light bar sitting on top. Something that really clean it up back here. And
especially down here in Texas, we need something to keep everything out of the weather. Well, the next question is, where are you going to work on this thing? It's too long for the bays. We can't shut the doors.
Yeah. You got to get it in where you fit it in, right?
Awning it is.
Yeah. Let's do it. Man, this is going to be the quickest teardown I think we've ever done, man.
I hope so.
Yeah. We're going to make a new toolbox.
Okay.
So we need to take off the pylon. All right, set this down. For now, we're going to leave the steps on until we draw out how the running boards are going to look. Shoot, the only thing else is the front bumper. That's it.
Okay, Bill was absolutely right. That was definitely the fastest teardown I've ever done.
We're in the process of figuring out how we're going to do the running boards for a factory truck. You know, the guy getting in and out of the truck every day, it works. But it just doesn't look cool. It don't look custom. We're we're going to fill in all this void in between the toolboxes and the fender, pretty much from wheel to wheel. I want to have a nice, clean running board that's going to hide all this and have one long step. So it's going to look cool and be functional. It's going to be fun. We're at one of the very beginnings of the process. First you got the idea. Second, we're going to transfer the idea over to the chipboard. I'm going to make a pattern. Go check and see if it fits to it, man. And in the process of doing this, you're thinking in your head, hey, how can I make it cooler? How can I make it better? This is going to dead end right into the box. Need to make that a little longer.
That looks pretty good.
I got a little piece of scrap just so we can start bending and just make sure we don't bend ourselves into the corner. I've bent pieces before and then it won't fit into the brake. So I'm just bending this at the shape we're going to bend in a big sheet. That way we don't waste a big sheet of metal. That won't work.
Yeah, that'll be the last bend too. We'll make it. Good morning.
What?
Yeah, man, I finally cut it.
Who are you?
It's been a while since I cut it. It's been a little over 3 years, so
dude,
feels so much different. It's not all my face when I ride, but it's still taking getting used to. I keep on rubbing my face and my beard's not there. It's kind of crazy.
Well, it's good to have old Jaime back, man.
Right on.
For me, a big key to metal fabrication is making it look like it came from the factory like this. We're bending the running boards on the 22 International. We're going to make it match the overall shape and flow of the factory truck.
Come on down.
Ready?
Yeah, try that.
It's really critical in bending anything like this with multiple bends to make sure every bend is in the right spot. If you mess up on the first one, all the other ones are going to be out of whack and crooked. It's going to be, we definitely don't want that.
We're at this bend, right?
Yeah. I love bending metal. Just satisfying, you know what I mean? There we go. Shit, man.
Looks good.
Yeah.
It's definitely change the look of that thing.
There's one way to find out. Push it in a little bit. All right. It's pretty close. Now you can kind of see where all the bends actually fit on the truck itself. One clean look all the way from front wheel all the way to the back. Damn, that's pretty badass.
You ought to see out there what Bob did that Jeep. He cut the whole thing in half this way. He cut it that way. So the Jeep's now in 4 pieces.
Oh, man.
What y'all talking about?
I was just explaining to Max how Bob just walked right up to that Jeep, just looked at it, and just cut it straight in half.
Man, you'd be heartbroken. I brought in Bob for one of our biggest metal jobs in a while. The owner of a pristine Willys Jeep wants to give it that mean bulldog look. So Bob quartered it, making it wider and longer. We got it all braced up. Now the work really starts getting going.
It looks totally different.
Mm-hmm. Cutting the cab up into 4 pieces, it's just a start. Putting all that metal back in place, that's a huge job. From that to building the frame, chopping the front end up, widening it, building a full bed, painting. After all that's done, huge interior job. And we still don't have an engine for it.
What motor are you going with on that one?
Oh man, you gotta have the Hellcat in, right?
You did decide with Hellcat?
Yeah. This truck came with an old straight 6, but that definitely won't cut it. The Hellcat's a 6.2 with over 700 horsepower stock. Way too much power for it, right? So that's just right. It's pretty much a race engine, not something you normally put in a truck. I know it's next to impossible to find a new one, right? Supply chain crap is all out of whack.
We're a year out on those.
So, let's go. The next best thing is trying to find a pull out of something, late model, very low mileage, clean engine.
So I got a few feelers out, and the ones I've found so far are either, they've been in a high-speed wreck, so the whole front's mangled up. The Hellcat on it, so we got to have an actual real Hellcat.
Yeah, the real deal.
Gotta have it. Hopefully, shouldn't be too much longer. We'll have something to fit in there.
Yeah, we're gonna need something pretty quick, man. So pedal to the metal.
Yeah. You ready? Y'all have fun.
All right.
Today I'm running around town trying to locate a Hellcat motor for this Jeep Willys. Houston has so many incredible little places for parts, but you gotta know where to look. Hola, Jefe!
Hey, how you doing, brother?
What's up, my man? So I'm here at Tex-Mex today. You know, it's a junkyard, so they have all kinds of stuff. And what some people think is junk is big money to this guy. Man, you got all kinds of motors over here.
What should do?
You keep all kinds of good stuff, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Some of these motors just look like complete junk. You know, they've been on fire, they're wrecked. That's a new, LT motor?
Yes, sir.
Got a little hot, huh?
Yes, a little bit.
But a lot of stuff you can just pull off, replace, and it's still fully usable.
2006 5.3 out of Chevy pickup 4x4.
That's a good motor. That's on the hot rod motors. Everybody's
Yes, it
wanting the LSs. This one's not going to be here long.
Yeah, somebody already have put down.
That one's already sold?
Yes, sir.
That happens. Ooh, big Cummins diesel.
Yes, sir. 5.9 diesel motor. All 5 dash pickup.
Everybody wants one. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of good stuff here that we could use, but I'm really on the hunt for that Hellcat. So if you find one low mileage, brand new in the box, any one of those, give me a shout. We'll come over, I'll grab it, and we'll get it in this project.
Back at the shop, we're getting busy on the metal work for the Jeep. By stretching it out, we gained in between 6 and 8 inches on the body. Now Bob's gonna make it all seamless.
Okay, right now I'm trimming this piece into here. That'll be the start of this. You notice these are rounded on the ends and this is squared off. We're gonna round these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split it right here, and then we're gonna actually hand hammer it all around. Okay, we got it all hammered out. What we did here is we made the ends round, and then it'll have a nice finished edge, just like the rest of the doors do. Okay, now we got this welded in. We got the lines here rounded off, bodywork, it'll look perfect. We made an extra long piece. We're gonna use about half of it to match the contour of the cab. See how it mates up to it really nicely? But to do that, we're gonna have a problem because they don't really have a roller for doing this. So we're gonna make some special tooling. It should be pretty cool. Okay, let's looking at the junkyard.
Since I opened Extensive over 2 decades ago, I hate throwing stuff away.
Probably even use a coil, but I don't want to ruin something they might use.
As a lifelong fabricator, you just never know when you can use something. So I'm definitely not surprised Bob using old parts to make a new tool for that 60s Jeep.
This is too big, huh?
No, that's perfect. We need 3 of them. We're going to use these old U-bolts here we found in the boneyard to build our tooling to bend this. What we're going to do is we're going to weld 3 of them together, and then we're going to use a rubber mallet, and that'll give us our curve. That's why it's a good idea to never throw anything away.
So I'm new here at the shop, and having an opportunity to work with a guy like Bob Grant is just amazing.
That looks pretty good. Like that.
Okay.
We're gonna weld them in like this.
So they don't teach you this kind of stuff in school, so it's really cool to learn how to do it. It takes a lot of experience and years of work to really figure it out. So I'm having a pleasure learning it. As you can see, our tool came out pretty good. Lines up perfectly with our bend. So now it's time to put it to use.
This is a hard piece to form because there's 3 rolls we gotta do here. The edge is a little bit wavy, so I got this hammer. We're gonna fine tune it. Worked pretty good though for some old U-bolts. Okay, we got it pretty good now. Matches our pattern. Might be a little bit long on the sides here, but we'll check it out and see how it looks. The ribs here match these. What I'll do is I'll cut this out and butt weld it all. That'll body line around the back to match the cab perfectly. So we got our new piece in here. That new tool really helped us out. Matches the ribs perfectly. We'll install the other side and get it all ground up. We got this corner all ground down, all the body lines match up. Next, we're gonna build some filler panels for these. Cut out our pieces and pre-fit them. And then we'll start tack welding them in there. Okay, so we got this all cut out. But when we were cutting it, I noticed there's like a good 1/2 inch of lead right here. So evidently this thing got hit pretty bad at one point. I'm gonna cut out that area. I'll re-roll another cap piece. We noticed it kind of hit the inner structure a little bit too. Well, you can kind of see all the damage here. So this whole corner is built out of lead. That's not even a real corner. Looks like I could maybe get rid of some of it just by digging it out. Maybe hammer it a little better. This piece I'll have to replace though. All lead right there. So my next step is to remake this little flange here and roll this little piece. So this is how they should have fixed it the first time. So back in the day, they used lead to repair a lot of damage on cars, and they'd put it on with wooden paddles. They'd heat it all up and put it on, and they'd use it just necessarily the right way to do it. A lot of people like using it, but I don't. It's really poisonous. It stays in your system. Actually looks pretty good. High octane, unleaded. It gets pretty exciting seeing all the pieces go back in. So it's starting to look like an actual vehicle. Yeah, it'll be all ready to go, just like factory.
I'm on the hunt for something, man, and I'm hoping you're gonna be the guy that's gonna help me out. A lot of guys only look for parts on the internet, and I do too. I'm trying to find a late model Hellcat motor. All right, let me get this number from you. But I found as much success going old school. You know, picking up the phone, calling everybody I can think of. 75,000 miles, and it's been run to the track. Yeah, and that's not really what I'm hunting for, man. I appreciate it, though. The customers, they don't care if the parts are hard to find. They just want what they want, and they want it yesterday. One was on fire. I definitely don't need that one. These Hellcat motors are race engines. A lot of times they end up destroyed, being driven too hard or crashed. Oh no, no paperwork? Yeah, let me look into this and I'll get back with you.
What
happened? It doesn't have paperwork, but it's still got a chunk of frame around it, so I don't know that
that sounds stolen just a little bit, right?
Well, on to the next one. We're trying.
Almost finished with those custom steps on the 22 International. So Jamie's out there putting the final pieces onto the design. We got a little filler piece in between the running board and the box, Jamie. So all we want to do is, you know, we got this step hanging out. So let's just cut the little end of it off, give it a little nice little gradual step into the filler.
Yeah, that's definitely what it needs. We could have just capped this and been done with it, but we took the extra step, you know, a lot of cutting, some bending, folding, to go ahead and add this cap to tie in, and then we're going to add this piece to tie into that. You know, it's all the things you really don't see that takes the time, you know, but when it's all together, it looks like it's supposed to. You know, I could have just left the box alone and not added this piece, but I'm going to see this truck every day, and it's going to ring over and over in my head. I could have done that. I should have hit my other piece right here. Getting a little freedom to do kind of what I want to. You know, I'm really happy with it. Bill's definitely got the confidence in me to take care of this by myself. There we go. I'm happy with it. Bill's going to love it. I'm going to be able to look at that and be proud of it. Birds are chirping, dogs are barking, metal's flying.
fix and weld some stuff. The 22 International is going to be our new record that'll represent the shop. So of course it needs to fit the part. So I'm thinking a meaner bumper that'll give it the right look.
So with everything that we're customizing on the truck, you know, this bumper right here really stands out. It's too short, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and splice it, add my 6 inches in between, give it that nice aggressive look from the front so it matches the rest of the truck. I'm going to do this in 3 pieces. My middle section first, stick this in the roller, just give it a little shape. Now you can see it's got a little curve to it. That's going to be way too pitched forward. The bumper be touching the wheels if I leave it pitched down. Edge a little bit right here, stand it back just a little bit more till I'm happy, so I can get that perfect pitch where it's flat instead of just tucking down. Oh, you see me running my hand across it like this. Basically, I'm seeing if my fingernail grabs it. If my fingernail grabs it, I know it's too high. If it's just a smooth transition with my fingernail, I know that's right where I need to be. Then we'll go ahead and start on the sides. Gonna roll out. That's tricky here. You know, it's not like the middle piece. I have a radius going this way, so I need to trim this piece off because I don't want it being short on this end. I still want the same distance so the bumper's even all the way down. The bumper's forming up real quick. I like the shape. Go ahead and start tacking in, walk it all the way down. Once I get this side, duplicate it, do the other side, trim it. Next, we're gonna be adding this piece. Now this is my center mark right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure between these holes, find my center, bang, bang, boom, we're gonna tack it. I'm going back and forth, because I don't want any of these ends, you know, they're loose, you know. I'm clear right there, I'm not over, I'm not under. I'm making sure I'm consistently even all the way across. Once I get it all tacked in, then I can come back and start filling in between my tacks. Now you can see, I got the bumper stretched now. There's a lot of work, but final product, man, this thing's sharp. It's gonna look good on that truck.
Max is great at what he does. You give him something to do, consider it done. And would you know, he found that Hellcat for the 60s Willys Jeep.
I got a buzz online that Buddy Lynn, who's like a local car collector, he's got one. So I'm over here now to see if we can make a deal and get this thing.
Man, finally got you out of here.
Yeah, how are you?
Man.
You got a couple cars out today, don't you?
Pick your poison. What you thinking?
Wow. I've always heard Lynn was a little bit of a car collector, but I didn't know that it was to this extent. You got a little bit of everything.
Got my baby right here, the Demon, baby. We did a lot of modifications to it.
Awesome.
You know, top end, bottom end pulleys, you know.
She's full go fast.
She's full go fast.
This guy's got Jeeps on tracks. He's got a side-by-side rat rods.
Then your boy over here did this as well, Justin.
Real nice. I think he's got a little bit of everything. Is that a big wheel trike?
She did that for my wife for Mother's Day, man. You know, one of a kind.
She got good taste.
She's happy, I'm happy.
That's all about
I get to buy what I want to buy as long as she gets it.
You're right. Speaking of buying, you got a motor I'm looking for.
We got a little something over here for you. You've been waiting on, man.
Come check it out.
We got it. Let's roll. Being in the car game, you know, you come across everything and everybody that wants to buy certain things. And I happen to have a 2019 Red Eye motor and trans. Yeah, there she is, the golden girl. What you been wanting, baby?
That's exactly what I've been hunting for.
She ain't missing nothing, baby. Wild Hornets, the old component HP2. She has a little cam work pulley system. Top end of it's done. You know, whole 9 yard.
Red Eye.
There we go, baby. That's her.
Just putting down what, 11?
1175. Like I said, by the time you get done with it, 1200. You know how that goes.
It's got a whole bunch of oomph in it. Whole bunch. How many miles do you think's on it?
Give or take 25, 35.
Perfect.
Right up in there. Now my question is, what is this going in?
It's going in a 1960 Jeep Willys.
Wow. Wow. That little bit of Jeep truck for this, that Willys gonna do a Willie. I would love to see that though.
I appreciate you holding on to it, because I know if I didn't show up and get it,
somebody was on the way.
I guarantee
told me to be here in 20 minutes. If you ain't come, I promise you they was coming through that gate.
Well, let's get it loaded up, man. I'll get out your hair.
It's all love, baby.
I appreciate you, man.
All right.
That is exactly what we were looking for. This one, that just weren't up to what we were looking for, because either it was in a wreck or, you know, it's just been beat to death because it's a race car motor. But luckily, this one looks really well taken care of, and that's a little bit less pressure on this build now that we found the heartbeat. piece to fill in the 60s wheelies. It's also the biggest piece, that roof. Wouldn't you know, our old parts coming into use again.
Does that look like a top to 59 Caddy to you?
Yeah, it sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the one Bill said we could use, soft Slim Tug's car.
Cool, let's do it. We left a little bit extra on the side just in case, because it's better to have it a little bit too long, that way you can trim it to fit. So let's see if it comes off here. Alrighty.
We're gonna take the roof skin over here, put it up top. So it looks like we're gonna cut it about 10 inches. This is a little bit better way to do it because you're not welding so much in the middle of the skin because it always wants to sag. And under there with the dolly, and it just takes forever. It's doable, but it's kind of a waste of time. Looks better already, huh? I know this looks crazy and bad right now, but once we get it all cut out and trimmed up, it's gonna look perfect. See how it fits perfect. That's just the way it goes, huh? Man, this turned out good. It looks all in proportion. It's lengthened, it's widened. I mean, it's everything they asked me to do. This thing's gonna be really, really cool when it's all finished.
Killed it on the metalwork on the 60s Jeep. Juan and the body guys, they got after it as well. And now the Jeep body looked like it rolled off the Willys assembly line back in 1960.
Well done.
Man, I love it, man. I love seeing it in this state compared to what it was a couple weeks back. Chopped up in many, many pieces. You guys killed it, man. Seeing the cab in this state just gets everybody excited in the shop and gets those creative juices flowing. So much work has been done to this already. We got many, many, many man hours, but we're just really getting started. Oh yeah. Just getting the front end where it needs to be. That's a whole nother project in itself. We're gonna build the whole frame, build all the suspension, then put the engine, then put the trans, then build the firewall, building the whole handmade bed for it. This is such a daunting project. We got a long way to go, man.
Oh yeah. All right, man, it's all yours.
You know, if you're not from Houston, you may not know it can get really cold in the winter. And today, it's gonna be freezing. So we're trying to make room to fit that big old International inside, where we can make the custom toolboxes. You know, the power line that was on it, it was cool. It's good looking for most wreckers, but in this case, you know, I want something a little more little box. One of the major challenges in this is getting the look right, because you can just build a box, put it on, and just totally ruin the look of the truck. Got a piece of aluminum square tubing soapstone on it, and I'm just going to trace around the cab so it goes along with the rest of the truck.
The soapstone lines are good, but a lot of times they're real hard to see once you got a saw right on it. So I'm just gonna lay me down some fine line tape right on the line so you get a better visual of where you're cutting. A little bit of this soap helps the aluminum from sticking to the blade, clogging it up. Helps lubricate it, keeps it from sticking. Our secret cutting saws will be available soon on the web store. Now we got the first piece all cut out, and we gotta get another full sheet and lay it across the back. Now we need a magic stick, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna trace this edge off the cab, but off of this, to get that back piece the same shape as this. The reason for that is the back one's gonna be an angle, so it's not gonna be exactly the same as this. It's gonna be a little taller.
You got it so it lines up?
I hope so.
Good shape, it fits the cab really good.
Man, we're making some headway right now. We got the back part of the wall in, and we're starting to build from the back wall out. So it's a lot easier to do that other than building a box and then putting shelving in. So put the shelves in, and then we'll just keep on building from there all the way out. Just doing the quick layout of the door spacing right there. And we're about to cut out the door opening, so we want to make that 100% right and true. We get one shot at it, unless you want to buy some more metal. 8-inch aluminum isn't very cheap.
Made me a template with some chipboard of that wraparound that comes from the top down to the side. Majority of our lines are straight, so what I'm gonna do is cut most of it I can with the straight edge, and then all the curves I'll go back with a jigsaw. That fits really, really well. Take this off and I guess put it on the floor over there. It's a little heavy. Start building these doors. We got all the door frames welded in place, sanded, smooth. All I need is this measurement here. So our door is going to be about 21.5 inches. We got to overcut it about 3/4 of an inch on each side and top and bottom. That way we can cut the corners out, break each side, and it'll give us a partial box. Makes the door stronger, it won't flex as much, and you know, it'll tuck inside this frame that we built here. Now all we need is a little handle right here to lock it, keep it from opening up while you're driving. Kind of hard to believe this all started off on just flat sheets of aluminum.
There's an old saying, time to lean, time to clean. I'm never not working. Best way to prove that you're a hard worker to everybody is to pick up a broom and start sweeping when nobody even asked you to. I feel like a lot of cats my age think that they're going to start running a company at the age of 23, which not always is the case. You know, you have to start somewhere and work your way up. You got to do the grunt work and you got to earn it. It all boils down to work ethic. You know, and you get more opportunity to move up. My love of cars started when I was maybe in middle school. My father had a really nice looking truck that he bought one time, and since that day I've always kind of wanted something custom of my own. It's nice to have something that not everybody else has, but something that at the same time says a little bit of something about you. So I decided to go to a trade school, and that's what really kick-started everything for me. Extensive stood out to me just because of the crazy amount of detail that goes into all these cars. I knew I wanted to be a part of that. I'm learning more and more every day, and this is going to bring me right where I need to be.
Parts we made for the 22 International were coming together. John finished the toolbox. We had it all color matched, and it looks great. And to top it all off, we're adding over 100 LED lights.
You know, Bill wanted a ridiculous amount of lights on this truck, and exactly what we're doing. When you think you got enough lights on it, put about 100 more.
So this is the most wiring I've ever put in a vehicle. I know we have a couple thousand feet of wire in this thing, and all of those right here.
We spent a ton of time on this record so far, and I've been wanting to show off what we did. Our show, I told him, man, I got you. I'll pick up Blue Thunder on our brand new record, and we'll all go together.
Look who's showing up already. Lord, look at this thing, man! Look at that bumper! Those lights, man!
Whoa, look at those toolboxes!
Damn! You did your thing here.
What you think, man?
Man, that's gorgeous.
That's not the same truck that we just built?
It don't look like it anymore, right? You guys
are phenomenal in doing what you're doing, but, you know, just had to take it to the extensive level, you know.
We make sure that it works good, you make sure it looks good.
You know, you never really know how someone's going to take it when you take their work and work on it from there, but, you know, these guys really appreciate what we do.
Look at this, man. Oh.
You know, to have someone like Ryan admire the work that you do, you know, that's a high honor.
Man, look at that. All the lights on the orders and everything, it looks really great.
One of the first things I wanted to do is fill in that big void where the batteries were, the gas tank. You already had the toolboxes in the right spots. Tenuous box pretty much from the front wheel all the way back to the back. And of course we had to split the bumper and make it lower too. So it just looks a lot meaner when it's coming down the road at you.
It's beautiful with the stretch and the molding in there and color match.
You know, I wanted to get rid of all the chrome and just make it all look the same all the way front, all the way to the back.
Man, it looks wonderful. We built a lot of records, like a lot, but nothing like this one. This one is like gorgeous.
Oh, what you doing with my pylon, man?
Had to change up a little bit. Hey, it was cool. But I was envisioning something just to totally cover up the back of the cab. You know, I'd like a little more extra storage, so, you know, we built the toolbox to match, you know, the body itself.
You built that by hand?
That's all handmade in the shop, man. Every bit of it.
I think I need to order like 12 of them from you, man.
We can make that happen.
That toolbox setup really flowed together, and for functionality, it's really, really perfect for the truck.
Once that was all built, we just had to finish it back up, put the light bar back on the top, so it's a legit tow truck now. Speaking of, you ready to get Blue Thunder loaded up?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Everybody at the shop kills it. I mean, working late, but, you know, a team comes together, cool stuff comes about. Well, I'm ready to get to the show off the new record, show off Blue Thunder, show the world once again what we're capable of.